Jane Johnston. I'm here with Linda Mackie of Linda Mackie Photography and host of the show, The Eloquent Entrepreneur. I thought it would be really cool for you to understand what The Eloquent Entrepreneur is all about and how Linda Mackie came up with the whole concept. And so I thought we could sit down and just discuss, what is it? So tell us, Linda, why did you come up with the idea for The Eloquent Entrepreneur? What was the motivation?
Well, the story goes back about 10 years. So I've always been an animal lover and advocate. And as a photographer, I just wanted to do something, to really support animals and help animal welfare and that kind of thing. And so I originally had come up with an idea to do a coffee table book, and I wanted to highlight people making a difference for animals.
Right.
And over time, it kind of evolved into various things, maybe it should include nature and children. And then as a photographer, I specialize in branding photography, and originally started out doing business headshots and stuff like that, which has kind of evolved into personal branding, which is more editorial style portraits for business owners, entrepreneurs, change makers, personalities, anyone who needs, those kind of photos. And I noticed along the way that a lot of these people were actually, making a difference in their communities, whether it's, in their business or in addition to their business. So I was really inspired by a lot of these people, because I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I have my own little story too to tell about, making a difference. And so the idea kind of came to wow, I can highlight these people. And so over time, I just, with the changes in technology and stuff like that, I thought, okay, well, maybe video is the way to go. And I saw other people doing interview shows, and I thought, oh, what a great way to get myself out there, talk to these people. And really the whole idea is to inspire others to make a difference, no matter the scale, because I think that's really the key, is that a lot of people think that they can't make a difference. I'm just one person. And I'll tell you my story in a bit, because it's really part of this whole, well, I guess I'll just tell you now. As I said, I love animals, and I just remember seeing, I think it was in 2006, I learned about cats and dogs being killed and tortured for their fur. And this just floored me, because I just had no idea, and it really upset me. It put me into a tailspin. I was in depression for about 2 years. I was like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
I can't stand knowing that this is happening. And so I was really, frustrated, and I was like, how can we stop this? And I just felt this huge pressure, like, I want to stop this. And eventually I realized that, you know what, I can't. This is too big for me. I am not somebody who's going to go and work undercover. I mean, I'm just too emotional and compassionate, and I couldn't take that. So I was like, okay, what can I do?
Yeah.
And so I started volunteering for the SPCA and doing their animal adoption portraits. And that almost changed my life in a way, because I realized that, we're all here for a purpose. And I realized, my gift, I did a lot of soul searching around the same time. Am I doing the right thing? Am I meant to be a photographer? And anyway, I did all this work, and I realized that, yes, this is my calling, and this is how I can make a difference.
And also, I think people can make a big difference by doing a small thing, right?
Exactly, yeah. And that's the whole point of getting back to your question. The whole point for the Eloquent Entrepreneur is that I really wanted to highlight the people I was working with, and I didn't really care what they were doing to make a difference. I just wanted to highlight that and share that with the world, and let other people know that we're in a position that I was in, that yes, you maybe can't change this thing, but you can change this thing.
Yep.
And so yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this. And I just love chatting with my clients, and sharing their stories, and I think there's a lot of that going on right now.
Yes.
Which is really great.
Well, I found when I worked with you, because you did my branding photography, was you got to know me as a person, and figure out, we knew each other previously, but you kind of delved into the why. And then I really liked the way that you used the discussion to sort of figure out what the values were, so that when the photography was done, you brought the values out. Like everyone said when in my photos, that they all looked really great. And I was very relaxed during the whole process. So is that something, part of the process of how you came up with the Eloquent Entrepreneur, because you're getting to know people on a more in-depth level, like rather than just taking the photo, you're photographing the person, the whole person?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I have thought about that, but yes, the way you put it, yes. I mean, that is a big part of how I work. And the reason I get those shots that people say, wow, I really see Jane in those photos, or whoever, right?
Yeah.
You know, I really view a photography session as a collaboration, and I find that the more we get to know each other, the more comfortable my subject is, and there is a rapport that goes on, and yeah, I mean, there's a certain comfort level, and so there's the energy that is being exchanged back and forth, and that's how I'm able to get those really authentic and natural portraits. And you know, it doesn't always happen. There's sometimes where, you know, it's hard, like, because you know, there's a lot of other factors involved when having your portrait taken. I think it's scary for a lot of people, or they come in with low self-esteem, or they you know, have hang-ups, and there's a lot of stuff beyond my control. But when it is kind of magical, and you know, that's when we do. And I mean, that's a very rare, that happens on occasion, right? But most of the time, I do take the time to get to know my clients, and that's how I learn about the things that they're doing, either in their business or in addition to their business. And yeah, it's getting to know them on a different level, and I think that, you know, I can get that spark out of them too.
Yeah. I think most people, when they look at somebody doing work, or they're like you as a photographer, or me as a realtor, that is really the only thing that we do. And are you surprised sometimes by what people are involved in other than their daily job, like what is their passion? I will tell you, I found my dog through internet dating on the SPCA site, and I was committed to finding my dog through the SPCA. I did not want to go to a breeder. I wanted, you know, I was going to say somebody, I wanted a dog that needed a home. So do you find that you, through that process of getting to know your clients, that you discover the leadership component in there, you discover the values of the person, and is that how they become a candidate for your show, or is it vice versa?
Well, I mean, this has just kind of evolved. I mean, the people that I've interviewed so far are clients that I've had, but I'm opening it up to other people who aren't my clients. But yeah, it is a nice, I guess I don't know if I'm surprised more than just, you know, more inspired, like, and I don't know. I mean, I guess when I get to know people, I'm not as surprised, because I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you know, because I get to know my clients and people I work with. But yeah, it's more inspiring, I think, because I love seeing people express themselves. That's kind of a big thing for me as well, because growing up, I had a hard time expressing myself, and I think that's part of why I do photography, because I love seeing people really come alive. And you know, I love the energy exchange. I love, you know, the rapport that we have, and that's when the magic happens. And I mean, that's why I love it so much. And I'm inspired to be more like, I express myself through photography, of course, but I'm inspired by other people who really express themselves, and that comes out obviously in the work they do for their business, but also in, you know, how they want to make a difference in the world, or what their contribution is.
So what do you think at the end, is the Eloquent Entrepreneur going to inspire? Is it going to be the inspiration that will lead other people to do good in the community? Is that what your hope is?
Yeah, I think that was the idea. Like, I mean, because I felt helpless. Like I told you my story, and I just felt helpless. And I thought, wow, like I just have no idea what to do. And you feel like, you're just one person, and I can't possibly make a change. But it's not true. You can. And I know I did with the animals. I mean, when I did those adoption photos for the SPCA, their adoption skyrocketed because of the photography, because of the work I was doing. I'm gonna get teary here. And that was just like blew me away, because I was like, wow, I could actually help
Make a
these
difference.
animals find homes with my photography. Wow, like what a revelation. And I think that, I think that applies to every single person. And I hope, and especially during this time, I think we're all change makers. I think we all realize that, you know what, we're all the same. We're all in weathering the storm, as I've heard somebody say. We're not in the same boat, but we're all weathering the same storm. And we all have something that we can do to make this journey better.
Yes, and I think part of it is bringing people into your circles who will help you be a better person, and
Yes.
bring you up rather than bring you down. That's kind of been the big lesson for me being an entrepreneur. I think the other thing is that when you hone your business, your core business as your craft, that you also then can pursue your passions. So have there been people who you have interviewed that you found you're surprised by what their other passion has been, or you're surprised by how they're giving back? Other, you know,
Well, you're a good example. I mean, I mean, I can't remember all the things. I mean, we had a great interview, and I was like, wow, like, how do you, being a mother of two, a business owner, and, a leader, and I mean, you're a mentor and you're a teacher, and that really surprises me. And, my other interview, I haven't posted his yet, but he's another Mike Riley, who is a financial advisor. I mean, I'm like, how do you find, like, where do you get all these hours in the day? And actually, are very successful at doing all these things, and making a difference in all these different areas. So that's what really surprises me, because I find it hard just focusing on one or two things. So I'm learning from you guys.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think also, it's funny, over the years, what I found is when I go to networking groups and I meet other people, and, there are people who you kind of resonate with, and there are other people that you don't, that you kind of take the good and let it rub off on you. That's really a conscious decision on my part, that I want to hang out with somebody or I don't. And I'm probably more picky than I was when I was younger. So I find, there's a bit of wisdom to that comes from networking. There's the wisdom that comes from networking is, what is it going to help me and what's going to hinder me, and then using that. So like understanding too that people are going to mine me for as a resource for things that they want to do as well. So like I'm on the Victoria Hospital Foundation committee to help raise money for the hospital and things like that. I don't think I would have found that group if somebody else hadn't thought of me as a resource for that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I wouldn't have helped out with that either if I had met you. And so there is a huge ripple effect, that the things we get involved with is because we are connecting with other people, like-minded people, and, finding inspiration in what they're doing. And it's like, oh, like I just got involved with the Humans of Support with another photographer friend of mine in Vancouver. And I mean, I didn't know I was going to do that last week. I haven't done the shoot yet, but it's basically, highlighting people making a difference, who are on the front lines, COVID-19, and I'm like, well, I can help. You know, I'm on the island. He's in Vancouver, and I'm like, well, I'd like to do that. I can do that here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just I don't know if it's serendipitous or if it's like fate. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's important to, yeah, get out there, network, connect, and you never know where that's going to lead.
Do you find, so I did a bit of photography and I'm nowhere near your caliber, but you know, some friends asked me to go and photograph wedding and stuff. And I just found that if I didn't know the people, it just doesn't click. Like you don't, it's like you don't have the inside scoop with what it is that's going to trigger somebody to evoke an emotion, I guess is what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that in your business?
Yeah, I've definitely, I mean, I've been shooting, I guess, since 2004 professionally, but I started actually taking pictures when I was a kid and then more, you know, later in my, when I was a makeup artist, then I started playing around with my dad's camera. And then, you know, that's kind of when my interest or passion for photography started. And, you know, back when I first started, it was just like, kind of like, let's show up and take some pictures. And, you know, it worked to a certain degree, but then I realized over time as I started doing more sort of, I would say personal portraits and business portrait, like people in business, it really helped to get to know them. Like I just started noticing that, you know, the more time I spent with them, the more I got to know them, you know, I could see I would watch their faces and see their expressions and I just get to know them, like just, I don't know.
Understand them.
Yeah, like just kind of like looking in their eyes. I mean, the eyes are really the windows of the soul. And I would, because I'm an empath and I'm a highly sensitive person, I think that helped me to really sort of connect on a deeper level and understand them in a way that I could see I don't know, I don't want to sound fluffy, but like see their light, see their soul and like, just, I'm like, I know when I'm doing a photo shoot, I know what I'm after and I know when I get it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like I said before, you know, you're not going to connect with everyone or maybe people come in with a shield around them or they don't feel good about themselves. And those are the hardest for me because I can't break through and I'm like sweating and trying to get the photo. And so over time, I've developed a system where I do almost treat it like, well, because I specialize in branding photography for business owners and, you know, people out in the public eye. I found it's really important to take the time to, you know, find out from them, almost like an ad campaign, like an ad agency would do,
Yeah.
You know, really go through kind of what are they wanting, who are they, what do they do, you know, really get to know them and their brand and take that time. And I find that makes a huge difference to the photos because they come in more relaxed, they come in with a relative idea of what the photos are going to look like and they feel comfortable with me. And yeah, we've taken the time to sort of plan things out. And yeah, I find that it really makes a difference. So,
What's the most common comment you get after you do somebody's photos? So you take, I don't know, maybe you take 300 photos. How many photos do you take on an average session?
Well, it depends. Like, I mean, if it's a full branding shoot, it could be, you know, hundreds of photos, but I don't, you know, obviously show all those photos, but, you know, it could range from a headshot, which is like an hour maybe shoot, to a full day of shooting. So it just depends on how many images and scenarios that person wants. Like, you know, I want a picture of me on a white background. I want me beside my car. I want me with my dog. I want me in my office. I want me, you know. So yeah, it depends. But what was the question?
What's the most common response that you get?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a range. Like, oh wow, you really captured me. Like, oh my gosh, I've never seen myself look this good, or wow, like that's me at my best. Or, I've had people crying because they were just so, it can be a very emotional experience because people they view themselves in one way and then they see themselves in this other way. And they're like, oh, it brings up a lot of emotions, I think, for some people.
Yeah. That's the whole self-concept piece, right? Of
Yeah.
how you perceive yourself, and what you're doing is you're showing them how they could be perceived, really. It maybe the reason for the crying is it's joy, right?
It is joy. Yes, I should have said that, but it is tears of joy because they were just so I don't know,
Touched.
touched and blown away. But wow, I've had people say, this is me. I've never. And one client actually said, I no longer feel ugly.
Oh,
And so it can be a transformational experience, and that's obviously the joy that I get out of doing what I do, because I love seeing people express themselves. I love seeing them come out from here to the other side and go, wow, and the confidence that comes with that is, it's very rewarding.
do you
So
know what I do is so in the business of selling houses, really what we're both in, what I'm realizing, is a counseling position, and people come out the other end. It's the same thing. It's project management. So I'm transitioning them from one place to another physical place, but also there's an emotional component. Maybe, their kids don't like the house that they're going into, or the way they made the decision. They were pressured by some external factors, whatever. But at the end of the day, I get a photo with everybody and a testimonial. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing are the letters of thanks. So I have a thank you wall with cards. And, I think I started that because somebody said to me when her husband was retiring, I think for the 5th time from Pearson College, that at the end of the day, it's going to be the letters of thanks that are going to remind you of the good work that you did. So I guess one thing for you is if as you get those, I would keep those, because those will be what will make you feel good at the end of the day, right?
yeah, and I'm a creative and I'm a highly sensitive person, and I go through times when I have somebody that maybe wasn't happy with their photos, and I know it's not because of that they weren't good photos. It's like I was talking about before. It's that kind of like whatever magic was supposed to happen just didn't, for whatever reason. There's all these different factors involved, and it really hurts me when it doesn't work. And like I said, it doesn't happen that often, but I do go back to my testimonials because that's where I go, okay, yeah, you know what?
You're worth it.
I'm worth it, and I do create great work. And I bring joy to people. I help them build their business. I help them create success. There's so many, what do you call it, invisible or innate,
Intangible
things that come out of photography. And there's so many. This is something that I kind of want to get more into is philosophy around photography. How do I explain it? Like education about the process, because I think a lot of people think that we just show up and take a bunch of pictures and then they're gonna like magically look like they do on my website. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's a 50-50 thing. It's energy exchange. It's, I'm a human being. I have my philosophy and baggage. And then, the clients come in with their philosophies and self concept, which is, I think, the biggest thing that, it plays a huge factor, right?
So come get your photo with Linda and go through the transformation.
Yeah. But I mean, it just goes back to, like, I have a great track record, and I'm proud of that. But I know I'm not, like, not everyone's going to like me. Not everyone's going to like my photography. Not everyone's going to be happy with their photos. But I want to really impart that is, because it's like you're not going to always get along with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And so the results really come from a variety of factors, and these are things that I really like to share, and maybe, educate more in one way or the other. I don't know how yet, but but it's
I think it'll just come, honestly.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's coming right now. Like
Yeah.
it'll develop over time. I found that too, that, you'll probably get lifetime clients. It probably is most of your business through word of mouth referrals.
Yeah, it's all word of mouth. And actually, well, I get a lot from Google too, which is great, but most of it is from word of mouth and networking and, referrals. Well, I said that, word of mouth. And I guess reputation, people are like, oh yeah, you have your, like, from you, I think there was a lot of people that were interested and then I actually ended up working with that, saw your photos. And so that's kind of like the ripple effect.
Yeah.
And, yeah, photography is, it's an area that, obviously it's my passion, and I really feel strongly about, like you were saying, sometimes you're a counselor. We wear so many hats that people don't realize that, like, oh, I'm just going to show up and you're going to take some pictures of me and they're going to be amazing. Well, no, you're going to come and you're going to perform for me. We're going to have an exchange and you're going to bring some energy. You're going to express yourself. And that's my biggest challenge when photographing people, is that, sometimes they don't. And it's like pulling blood from a stone. So, I think that's part of my job as a photographer. I'm an educator, I'm an image maker, I'm an artist, I'm a counselor, I'm a technician, there's all these hats. I'm an editor, I'm a retoucher, producer, we have to pull all the elements together. And so it is a big job, but I love it because it's all these hats pulled together to create my life's work, which is
fulfilling.
It's very fulfilling. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I know I can't see myself doing anything else. And I've tried to leave photography many times. I'm like, I don't know if I'm, cut out for this. Because it is hard. It's a freelance life. And
yeah,
I on referrals, testimonials. But like we were talking about before, whenever I feel, oh, I had a bad day, or I, feel shitty about my work or whatever, I always go back to those testimonials and go, okay, yeah.
So one thing that I noticed that all photographers, I think, need to just educate their clients on is giving credit when the photo is done, because it's easy to forget, oh yeah, that person took that photo. Because as you said, I've gone to a lot of different photographers actually over the years and developed sort of my persona over the years. And I found that they have captured me totally differently.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say one thing that's different now is I'm probably calmer than I was when I first started. I was more excited.
Yeah.
But I was also about 14 years younger.
Yeah.
But I do think, giving credit where credit's due and who took the photo is very important, because what I'm trying to say is that not every photo turned out the same, even though I'm the same person. So.
Well, and actually that's a really good point. I was listening to Annie Leibovitz recently, and she was talking about how, you can't just have one picture of a person. That's like people say, oh, I really capture the essence of that person. You can't capture the essence of a person in one photo. And that's what I really love about branding photography. Or just, having more than one photo of, and capturing the person in different scenarios. And it's like a fashion editorial, or like a whatever editorial style, lifestyle, whatever encapsulates the person. Like, we're dynamic people, right? Like,
Right.
so, and we have so many aspects to ourselves, right? So, I think it's important to have, um, if you want to get your message out there, and especially now where everything's very visual, and you want people to get to know you, or you have a business where you're intimate with your clients, like, I mean, not intimate, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
You are very
Getting to
personal.
know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you want, and I always say, your image, you want your images to be you when you can't be there in person. And what a better time than now, because we can't be there in person. But your images should really be you and speak for you, and having having a variety of photos that really capture you. And yeah, not all photographers are different, and I love that, because we all come from a different background and education and experience and expertise, and so of course and the energy is different too, and that's huge. I talked about that before. So yeah, I think it's important to give your photographer credit, and know that you're going to be captured differently by
Different people. Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, a great example of that, when my daughter, who looked a lot like me when we were both younger, we went to a painting camp at Machosen International Summer School of the Arts. So we're sitting there in a circle, and 12 people are all painting us, and we came out differently in every single picture. And I realized, I was trying to figure out, is that person actually seeing me differently, or is that their style? Or, it's very interesting how perception changes reality. So I have a question though for you. So you meet somebody and you get to know them through the photography process. Is this how then they become a guest on the Eloquent Entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very open. Like you said, you don't have to be a client of mine. Like, I might meet you at a networking event and learn about it. Like, I love getting to know people, and so I try to get to know, ask as many questions, and I am kind of on the what do you call it, alert for that, because I'm, my ears out. Well, who's doing what, and so yeah, I mean, it's open to anyone, really. If you're in the community, or I mean, I have people that I will be interviewing that are not even in Canada. They're in different countries, so it doesn't have to be local to Victoria or Canada per se. And the important thing is that you are doing something in your community, or even the world. You could be a famous person, but it's not the criteria. The whole idea is that we are all making a difference, no matter our whatever level in life.
Who is your ideal client in terms of who you want to work with? Like, if you were to put out an avatar of, this is the type of person I want to attract to my business, can you tell me who that person would be?
Yeah, I love working with men and women, so it doesn't really matter, who they are. I mean, I really love working with people who are making a difference. I think that's sort of where I've, channeling my focus. But people who really are putting themselves out there and expressing themselves and want to see their true selves, but also have that element of, they're in business, or they're a TV personality, or they're a change maker, and sort of really want to, or who are making a difference in the world. I think that's kind of the way that I've been going. And people who really value photography, understand the power of it, and the art of it, I guess. And really want to collaborate. I think that's really important to me, that people come in understanding that it's a collaboration, and that we're both responsible for the outcome and, really want to use photography the way it's meant to be used, to inspire, to educate, to attract, to tell a story. That's when it's really magical. When I work with people, it's like, okay, yeah, you get it, we get it,
Yeah.
and we're doing this together. And
To reflect their inner personality, the one that maybe they're not necessarily always letting everybody in to see, right?
yeah, exactly. I think that when people really express themselves, sometimes they're surprised because they're like, oh, you really captured that side of my personality that I don't sorry, normally show. And I think that's really attractive. And I think when people, my ideal clients, recognize that, they see that side of them that I don't know, they still love, but they don't necessarily show it all the time, right? And I think it's quite attractive for people, outside looking in, so.
Yeah, I think it's called glow. They have a glow at the end of the day. So thank you for bringing the glow out in me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat with you today about what you do and the magic you create with people in front of the lens. And thank you for putting an effort out there to bring to light people who make a difference in the world. And I think, we all have to realize that you are the change that you want to see in the world, and you are living it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for interviewing me and helping me to express myself, because this is a whole different ball game for me. I'm used to being behind the camera. And I'm really enjoying it. And I'm really kind of, this is the second phase in my journey. Like I talk about, I love seeing people express themselves, and I feel like, emotional about it, because now I'm in the second phase of me getting out there and expressing myself. And I want people to see that. And I want people to know me just as much as I want to get to know them.
Yeah.
So it's all
Awesome.
very exciting. And I hope that people will. I have a Facebook group. If anyone wants to join my Facebook group, it's called The Eloquent Entrepreneur. And you can find my photography work at lindamackie.ca. And my handle for social media is Linda Mackie Photo. And if you're interested, if you are making a difference in the world, I'd love for you to reach out and let me know, and let's talk.
Awesome. Okay. I look forward to watching your show. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks, Jane.
Bye.